Welcome. My name is Cindy Davis. I'm the contributing editor of AV Technology, and with me here today is Rich Ventura. Many of you already know Rich from his nearly 20 years at NEC Display Solutions and through his work with the Digital Signage Federation. In June of this year, Rich joined the Sony Electronics Professional Solutions America team as the Vice President of B2B. So welcome, Rich, and thanks for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me, Cindy. I know it's always great to engage and sit down with you and talk about a lot of great technology and industry trends.
So Rich, Sony's always been known for its amazing displays, but Sony's been very active in an area that people might not necessarily associate Sony with. For many years, Sony has been very robust with workplace collaboration and active learning solutions. So bring us up to date on what's going on with Sony in that space.
You know, definitely in the world of COVID, we have to look at how do you engage and how do you interact and how do you collaborate. Whether we're not in these little huddle spaces that we've been used to and grown accustomed to, and we're all in the world of being on Teams and Zoom all day long. So how do you collaborate? The great thing about it, if you look at our product portfolio, and it really is a portfolio, is it's not just displays, not just projectors. You add in cameras, you add in PTZ cameras, you add in beamforming microphones, you add in solutions like Edge. All those play in together when we're talking about this collaboration. So if I look at starting at the most upfront point, which is a display, within the displays having Chromecast and AirPlay 2 functionality built into the display. So I can walk in with a laptop, a tablet, whatever, and I can communicate to the display without having to install any software. You've got those functionalities built into your product depending on what you carry. So that's easy. Then you add in partnerships that we have, whether it's working with a Crestron, a Kramer, an Extron, a Logitech, you go down the list of it. There's a lot of the functionalities and feature plays that they have that work around collaboration. So you have that piece. So we have the visual aspect. So now let's go to the next step of it, and that's really the camera aspect. Having a PTZ backbone, having cameras that we can utilize for collaboration, distance engagement, whatever the software solution they're using, and tying in our cameras. Then you add in Edge. Edge starts adding a whole nother dynamic to the conversation. So with Edge, we're talking now tracking, you're talking about handwriting recognition, you're talking about utilizing really what you want and how you want to engage with that audience from a distance learning engagement. We can do that with and utilizing AI. So it's really learning about you, and it's doing so many great things within the system. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about beamforming microphones. Having microphones that you don't need to touch. I mean, this is an amazing technology, and it's almost kind of another great secret of Sony's is that we have this technology.
So Rich, talk a little bit more about Edge. What exactly is Edge?
So Edge is an AI system. In the most basic function and form of it, Edge utilizes cameras and AI to collaborate from a distance. If I'm a presenter or a speaker and I'm in front of a room or I'm in front of an auditorium and I'm presenting about, and I'm up there writing on a whiteboard and everything else, if you remember the old way of doing this, you generally had two cameras. You had one camera on the speaker and you had another camera that maybe is focused on the whiteboard. And so then a distance student, they might have multiple screens at one time or multiple boxes on their screen showing the information. So you can follow the speaker on one side and look at all their writing on the other side. But all you're doing is running video. You're not doing anything else. What Edge allows us to do is we can actually, if I'm up speaking, I'm presenting, it's following me, it's tracking me. It's using the tracking functionality in the cameras. But then I start writing on the wall. I start writing whatever it is. I'm going to write, hello, welcome to the class, blah, blah, blah. It uses handwriting recognition, and all of a sudden that gets superimposed. Now, what I can do is I can actually have the whiteboard or whatever we're using cover me so you don't even see me, you just hear my voice, or you can hear me and see that writing happening. And then if I go and erase something, guess what it does? It sees that, it erases it. So it's taking real-time handwriting recognition and communicating that to the audience. And so now what you have, you start thinking about the world we're in today, and we talk about distance learning, distance engagement, you can truly have a live engagement and interaction and collaboration between you and the audience. We can do a lot of the stuff like what you do in Zoom and Teams, where you can have a different background and you can change up your background. We started incorporating the beamforming microphone. We incorporate all these different other technologies into what we use on Edge.
So one of the things that's really important now going forward, and I think honestly, the way corporations, companies operate going forward is going to be different forever. And
Yes.
real estate. I've got one of our companies that I've been interviewing. They're not even going to renew their lease in January. So they're going to be doing a lot from virtually continued and for quite a long time. So corporate level, and they're going to be having maybe a smaller corporate space and just a few meeting rooms. So you talked about education, but it seems like these Edge works really well also for in a corporate space.
Yes. So when we look at collaboration and engagement, historically, we've always looked at education being the space where it happens. What people don't realize is in corporate, collaboration is even more important. You have teams that are all over the world. Look at the world we're in today. I mean, my organization is spread all over North America. I need to engage with them. Having a tool that allows you to do write up on a board, do all kinds of handwriting recognition, sharing ideas, being able to, you don't have to have a touch screen to do this, right? I think what we've always thought is the only way I can collaborate is I've got to have a large format display in front of me and I got to write on it. And then someone else has to have a large format display on their side and they got to write on it. Well, you don't need to do that with Edge. One of our engineers, or one of our SCs, does an amazing job of how she shows how Edge works in her home office. You would not know that she's doing the trainings and everything that she's doing from her home. You would think that she's in a corporate center with studio cameras and everything else doing this, and she's using the Edge platform. And so she's transforming the collaboration experience by using this tool. Corporate America, this is a really important tool that they can start utilizing. Collaboration is more than video conferencing. Collaboration is more than you and I having this conversation that we're having today. It is really about exchanging of ideas and changing and going back and forth and building out things and stuff. That's what Edge brings to the table, especially in the corporate space.
Yes. And audio obviously is really important. Back in, if you're having doing a corporate meeting, that's going to be you've got people in that meeting room as well as going out. So talk a little bit about audio and how important audio is in those meetings.
Audio is critical in those meetings, and so we look at it from the front end of the audio spectrum, right? With our beamforming microphones, having microphones that are clear and crisp, being able to pick up the audio, and so that it sounds like you are in the same room together, even though you're not. That is critical. When you start looking at the next aspect of the audio, the speakers and everything like that, if you don't have the right audio coming in, the audio going out is not going to be is not successful, right? So we really focus on the audio in aspect within the Sony B2B organization, making sure you do have the right tools and the right microphones to do the job. I mean, this is an amazing technology, and it's almost kind of another great secret of Sony's is that we have this technology. So now we can go into a room and it's very heavily outfitted with Sony tech, whether it's the displays, the cameras, the beamforming microphones, and as well as the Edge appliance. And those types of things become really valuable as we're trying to work in this new world that we have, and that we've really entered. And simplicity of engagement and everything else becomes so critical.
So Rich, thanks so much. It was really great to hear from you now that you're with Sony, and we're going to be hearing a whole lot more. So thanks very much.
Oh, thank you, Cindy. I mean, this is an exciting time for us as an organization, and it's a challenge. We know it's a challenging time as an industry, but we're really out there to help grow the industry together.
Great. Thanks so much.